Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, grandmothers, aunties, uncles, grandfathers. Welcome to the best podcast on this side of town in the world, matter of fact. Back Porch Sports Podcast with your boy Quan and Fonz.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We are here and we are grateful to be here one more week. Thank everyone that supports us, listen to us. Don't forget to subscribe, share. We are still on this 150 subscriber-thon journey, so please subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification button. Tell a friend about us. And we're going to jump right into some news around the sports land. Fonz, what you got for us?
Okay, so Bobby Wagner said he did not want to leave Seattle.
Oh, really?
That's what he said. He it's like he didn't want to leave, but he left. He went to the division rival, and he said that he has some unresolved feelings. So it was a mass exodus in Seattle. You had Russell Wilson being traded. You also have Bobby Wagner leaving, but it's been like that for a few years though. So I'm starting to think if that's a organizational thing or a Pete Carroll thing. No, it's like that Tootsie Pop commercial. The world may never know, but at the same time, but yeah, I don't know about that one, man. I think he wanted to go because it was getting kind of tight over there. If that makes sense.
Yeah, they won't do him too much. He know he wanted to leave.
Yeah, he's ready to go.
Yeah, he's ready to go. I mean, he's the agent of himself.
Yeah,
he represents himself. So I mean, if you didn't want to, I think it might have been a Pete Carroll thing though. Now that I think about it, it could have been, could have been Pete Carroll thing,
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there. They only give you a little piece of the pie at a time. So
that's it.
I mean, I like him with the Rams. I mean,
yeah, I could have wished he could have came to Baltimore though, but
that's scary. It's just scary. That's scary everywhere you look.
I mean, even as the team where they at now, before Bobby Wagner, like you said, they were tough. I mean, they just coming up off a Super Bowl, but to add that element, even though he's spent his first 10 years in Seattle, so he's kind of long in it too, but he's still playing at an all-pro level. So, hey,
right,
that's going to be a good series to watch, this coming season. The next one, Jesse Bates, he's a safety with the Bengals. They did not agree with the terms ahead of Friday's deadline. I think it was Friday at 4. They either had to sign the franchise tag or get an extension, and he did not agree with the Bengals. And I really feel like that's because they kind of drafted his replacement. I forget where that safety came from. I think they drafted his replacement. I think, I mean, Jesse Bates, he was a pretty decent safety last year. I mean, let's call it what it is. He's been a decent safety for the past few years. So
yeah.
Either sign him or trade him.
I think they should trade him.
I think they should trade for like an O-lineman.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, most definitely, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think they should trade him. I mean, he's a guy with value. It's a few teams out there that could use some safety or just help at the defensive side of the ball anyway.
Right.
I mean, if they're gonna do anything with him, definitely trade him. Don't cut him, because then you got to eat some of that money that that dead money. So
yeah, I agree. And speaking of not getting the deal, Orlando Brown Jr., Baby Zeus, what they called him, he didn't agree to a deal with the Chiefs. I'm starting to think that Eric DeCosta won that trade. I was mad when we traded him to the Chiefs of all people, but as it's unfolding, I'm like, all right, cool. So the Chiefs was going to give him a 6-year, $139 million deal. $95 million was due to be paid over the first 5 years of the contract. The fluff on the back end, which is the 6th year, was a base salary of $40 million written in, was never intended paid out. So I think they were trying to lowball him. But with Orlando Brown Jr., he was drafted as a right tackle. But when Ronnie Stanley went down, he switched to left tackle. And if y'all remember his dad, Orlando Brown Sr., he was a left tackle. And, he was like, he wanted to follow in his dad's footsteps. But the thing is, left tackles, good left tackles are hard to come by because those are the cats that, they feel that blind side. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So an elite left tackle is hard to come by. Like the last left tackle I know that's in the Hall of Fame is Jonathan Ogden. That should tell you something, because there's not many offensive linemen that go. But honestly, I hope he get his money. I hope he get his due. But I mean, hey, I'll gladly welcome him back. Just to show up that offensive line. He knows the system and everything. But I think that ship sailed when they trade him.
Yeah, I don't know, but that is a valid point. What you're saying about the left tackle. It's a blind spot, a very important position for a right-handed quarterback. I believe it's for right-handed quarterbacks. Because the blind side, I mean, that's the side that they cannot see. And they needed that. They need that side protected the most, because I mean, the other side they can see pretty well. They can try to scramble for the ones that do scramble, but for the blind side, man, I think can cause a lot of things to happen. I mean, he can strip the ball, force a fumble. I mean, so I mean that blind side is important. Yeah.
It's a tough one. I mean, I hope they get a deal done. I hope he get his money, regardless if he played left tackle or right tackle. I hope he get his money. But you got to show a little bit of flexibility there. I know he want to do like what his dad did, but at the same time, like, bro, you're not your dad, man. Like, I mean, if you're old enough to know about, his father was a beast, and I don't really think he had the credit that he deserved. Like, the biggest memory of his dad that goes down is when he was playing for the Browns and the referee threw the flag in his eye. It was some crazy stuff. Okay, so we all know that Baker Mayfield is a Carolina Panther, and he is fighting for that starting position with Sam Darnold.
He already won, but okay.
I mean, yeah, I think he came in with the dub. But so back when let's go back in time a little. Let's go back a couple of months when the speculation of Baker Mayfield was possibly going to Carolina, and Robbie Anderson, the receiver, put out a tweet that said no. And so he went on the I Am Athlete podcast, and I kind of like that show. I ain't gonna front that one in the Pivot podcast. I like that one.
Yeah, the Pivot, pretty nice. Yeah.
Like, if y'all want, let me press pause. Like, the Pivot, if y'all want to see, because we did talk about this brother a while back on our biggest bust of all time, but they just had Jamarcus Russell up there. Go watch it. That's all I'm gonna say. It puts a lot of things into perspective. So, I kind of apologize for the stuff I said about Jamarcus Russell. But anyway, so he said Robbie Anderson was defending Sam Darnold. Now, they was teammates when they was with the Jets. So Sam Darnold is pretty much his guy. You know what I'm saying? And then he was saying how, that's his dude. And then Sam didn't really get that, what's what I'm looking for? That development. So those are big words coming from the receiver. But who knows, like, as a quarterback, who knows you better than your center, your number one receiver, and your tight end? And of course, your running back. Who else know you better? So, I'm not going to say it's a controversy in Charlotte, but if I can predict, I'm not going to do that because I'm going ahead of myself. I'm going ahead of another show. I ain't going to go there right now. But Baker got that job.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And the Hall of Fame game is preseason. I know it's preseason, but that game is going to be August 4th. It's going to be the Raiders and the Jaguars. It's going to be on NBC. and just so I can get my fix. You know how the Fiends, they got to get they hit, they got to get their fix, got to get their bump. I got to get my fix of football. I'm sorry, I'm tired of watching reruns. So I'm gonna watch that game just to say it's football. But I'm just happy it's coming back. It's coming back.
All right, we're less than like a month away from preseason. What, the 4th?
Yeah, that's about what's the 19th? So it's about 2.5 weeks.
Yeah,
which is good. All right, so the last show, if y'all listened and watched the last show, we kind of gave some predictions. It was way too early, and we told y'all straight up, how we did it last year. We're not gonna do it that way this year because that was, even though it was a labor of love, it was a lot of work.
Yes, Lord.
Good gracious. So we're gonna do it division by division, and on this show, we're gonna talk about the AFC South and the AFC West, and we're gonna determine. We're going to use our prognosticating, if I say that correctly. We're going to use that, and we're going to see where they're going to fall at. So, if you want to go ahead with your predictions, man, have at it, bro.
For the AFC South, I feel like the Colts will be number one, ending at 12-6.
Ooh.
The reason I got them winning that division is because first, I really like what I've seen from the Colts last year. Jonathan Taylor had a great season, even though it took him twice as many games to catch up to Derrick Henry.
And then Derrick Henry was hurt too.
But and they're in the same division, which we're gonna get into that shortly. But I got them winning. Colts, they have a 3-head running back core: Jonathan Taylor, Naheem Hines, and Philip Lindsay, from a former Bronco running back.
Right.
He didn't been all around, but I remember this guy from the Broncos, and he kind of left a mark on me when he played against the Steelers. And, he ran all over us. That little guy ran all over us. He's a strong, fast running back, like top heavy, chest out running type of guy. And I feel like they have they got, of course they got one of the best offensive linemen. Their defense is pretty much a solid defense. I really like the defense, especially when it comes down to the defensive line. I got them coming first. Second is the Titans, of course. I got the Titans coming. I don't know how they'll be without A.J. Brown being there, but they do have Derrick Henry, which 85 to 90% of their offense was Derrick Henry anyway.
Right.
Hopefully he doesn't turn out to be somewhat of a Christian McCaffrey, where he starts getting injury prone. He just got injured last year with some type of foot injury. So hopefully he can come back and be healthy and be that running back that they want him to be and need him to be to compete in this division. Third, I have the Jags coming third. I got the Jags coming third.
Yeah.
That's only because the Texans is like the worst team in that division.
Thanks. So they third by default.
So Colts, Titans, Jags, and Texans, 1 through 4.
That's solid.
For the AFC West,
which is going to be the best division in football. Watch it.
That when I got to that one, I was like, yo, come on, man. Y'all gotta be kidding me. With all the transactions that all 4 of these teams had going on, whether they were signing somebody or getting rid of someone, is really a toss-up division. But with that being said, let me just go ahead and say I got the Chiefs coming third.
Whoa.
Coming third. And I got the Broncos coming last. So that leaves me with the Chargers and the Raiders. I got Raiders winning number 1. If they can get it together.
Facts.
If this team that they have come together, like I really hope they got Josh Jacobs, they got Devontae Adams, they got Darren Waller, they got Derek Carr. They have a great defense. I mean, if it comes together, I feel like they can win this division. And then second underneath them is the Chargers. I like what they have on the defensive side of the ball with Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa. I mean, they are hoping to probably be one of the best defenses to stop the run, I believe, and probably might lead the league in sacks if they can just put it together. I mean, that's Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack. I mean, that's like death row.
You sick of your executive producer all in the video. Cut a death row. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But I got them coming second. Really, because if I would have had them coming first. But I like the Raiders offense. I mean, in this league that we play in today, or that we seeing being played today, you got to be able to score. I mean, you just got to be able to score. And the Chiefs has taught us that for the last few years that they've been on their little dynasty run. That you're going to have to score with us, and you're going to have to be able to keep the score a low game, which calls for a great defense. So I got them coming second. Chiefs is going third, and this is why. I feel like they made the worst decision in their entire franchise. I'm still hurt about them getting rid of well, I'm hurt, but I'm not hurt, quote unquote.
I'm hurt for fantasy reasons.
Yeah,
I'm still gonna draft him though.
Tyreek Hill is in Miami. It may not have been the key to the offense, but it was definitely a piece of the offense where they could use him as a distraction to open up Travis Kelce and the Juju Smith that they have now.
Right.
We both know, everybody knows, if you watch football, Juju Smith isn't a number one guy. I'm sorry. I'll be the first to say it. Juju Smith is the type of guy that's going to get you those hard yards. He's going to fight for every yard, but he's not the guy to put at number one. Like, I don't think so.
To me, he's like the poor man's Anquan Bolden, if you think about it.
Pretty much. Now, I'm not saying that he's not a good, wide receiver. I mean, he's a solid receiver now. I will say that he's a good solid receiver. But when you put him at number one, I don't see why they would let go Tyreek Hill. I think it would have been smart for them to keep Tyreek Hill. With the deal that they gave to Juju, they probably could have still signed Juju Smith, because the Steelers don't look like they was nudging to sign him.
Right.
So it looked like they would have probably got him anyway. Plus, before we was even in negotiation for us to sign him, he was already thinking about going to the Chiefs anyway previously. So it was highly likely that he was coming to Kansas anyway. But I would have liked it way more if they would have had Juju, Travis, and Tyreek Hill. That would have been scary. That would have been something that would have kept coaches up at night. But I got them coming third because I don't know how they're going to be. We saw them, start off on a very slow start. They didn't start coming to live until like late season. And so I got them coming third. And the Broncos, I got them coming fourth because, they got Russ. They got Russ. And, they got a solid team as well. But with everything, with all the changes and stuff going on, you have to learn how to win together. And we all know that football is a team sport and it takes a lot of chemistry. So I got them coming last.
Okay. You were solid on that one now. Now, I'm going to go ahead on the record and say I wholeheartedly agree with you with the AFC South. Like, the order that you had it in, Colts, Titans, Jaguars, Texans, that's my exact order. The records, I'm predicting 11-6 for the Colts, 9-8 for the Titans, 5-12 for the Jags, and 4-13 for the Texans. So we solid this, so I ain't got to go through that. But let's talk about the West and how the West gonna be won. Now, the AFC West is shaping up to be arguably the best division in football. I have a prediction that 2 teams is going to the playoffs.
Maybe 3.
And hold on, because it's up. We ain't even got to the other divisions in the AFC yet.
You're right.
And then you have a 10-win team that's going to barely miss out. So let's talk about Kansas City. They traded Tyreek Hill. That could be a gift and that could be a curse.
I think it's a curse.
I mean, it's like I'm on both sides of the coin with that one because, yeah, now Patrick Mahomes can spread that ball around. Now, what I'm anxious to see is we seen Juju Smith-Schuster in the Pittsburgh offense. What is he going to look like in the Kansas City offense? He might look a little better. He's a slot receiver.
Honestly, with him being under Andy Reid and his offense, I think he might be doing more than what he was doing in Pittsburgh. Just because their offense is so finesse. They have so much of a finesse offense. Yeah, it's going to have him doing a lot of different things. He's not just I think on the charts, I think he's number one, but I really think he's going to be all over the field as far as in the slot, on the outside. I mean, the Chiefs is probably one of the most finesse offenses in the NFL, man. So, yeah. But go ahead.
I mean, but yeah, and that's to your point. They are arguably the best offense of the past maybe 4 or 5 years, right?
Right.
But the thing about it is, Mahomes, the only bona fide security blanket Mahomes is going to have is Travis Kelce.
Right.
Now, if you go back to that Super Bowl, they had a Tyreek Hill on that team. They told him straight up, you can do whatever you want with Kelce, but Tyreek Hill ain't beating us. And the Buccaneers did an excellent job isolating Tyreek Hill. However, I do have the Chiefs narrowly winning that division.
What?
By the smallest of margins. I have them going 11-6, right? My number 2 team, and I really feel like this is going to be my favorite team in that division. I got the Chargers, also at 11-6. Here's why. The Chargers, everybody else worked on their offense. The Chargers worked on their defense. And the past couple of Super Bowls have shown you that the defense steps it up when it matters.
Oh, yeah.
You go trade for Khalil Mack. You go get J.C. Jackson from the Patriots, who's arguably he was pretty decent. I heard his name a lot. He was a pretty decent corner. And then you got some other pieces in there. You already got a quarterback. I know I talk trash about Justin Herbert. I talk trash about him, but I mean, he's already putting up the numbers. You just need a defense to stop something.
Right.
So now you got Joey Bosa, you got Khalil Mack, you got I forget the safety name they got, but J.C. Jackson, and then they got some safety dude out there, but you got the defense now. But I feel like between the Chargers and the Chiefs, they're gonna go 1-1. They always do. It's almost guaranteed. The Broncos are going to narrowly miss the playoffs because somebody else in the AFC going to step up. Because you can't have too many 11-win teams in the AFC. Somebody's going to win 12, somebody's going to win 10. And somebody's going to beat that person that's winning 10. So I got the Broncos kind of, they're going to win 10 games, but they're going to narrowly miss the playoffs. Your pass rush, that's my biggest concern. And of course, Russell Wilson. Maybe he'll do better. Maybe he'll do what he's supposed to do. He does have some decent receivers. He does have a pretty decent running game. And, all Russell needs is a good running game. He do the rest. But I got them narrowly missing the playoffs at 10-7. And the Raiders, this one hurt. But I got them going 8-9, though. I got them going 8-9. I'm still concerned about their offensive line. You can have Devontae Adams. You can have Darren Waller. I get that. But check this out. Darren Waller only had 700 yards last year. And yet they still made the playoffs. I really feel like this is, and then you under a first-year head coach with Josh McDaniels, who, if y'all could go back to about 2009, maybe 2010, he was with the Broncos. It worked out, sort of, but it didn't work out. So I'm not convinced that a Bill Belichick assistant can coach this team to the playoffs in the first year. Maybe next year. I don't know about this year. So I got them going 8-9, maybe 9-8. Man, I give them a winning record. I give them going 9-8. Derek Carr might throw for 4,500 yards, maybe about 26 touchdowns to about 10, 11 picks.
No, he ain't no Aaron Rodgers.
I said, look, I'm gonna say 6. I was not gonna say 6. I look 12 now.
I can see Derek Carr throwing for about 2,500 with about 25 touchdowns, about 11, 12 picks maybe. Somewhere around there. Not too great, but just good enough to. I feel like they can win it. I really do. I don't know.
Their defense is okay, but their defense is all right. I mean, the defense is good. They just kind of fell off towards the middle of last season. And then you got to look at it from the totality. My biggest concern is their offensive line. You just got a team in the Chargers that basically upgraded their defense.
A lot.
I mean, by a long shot, they could possibly have maybe a top 5 defense in the conference. I mean, honestly, maybe top 3. So that's my biggest concern. If you could get after Derek Carr, you got him. That's just as simple as whistling Dixie. You can get after Derek Carr, you got him. But I mean, 2,500, that's kind of lowballing the brother, though. I'm gonna give him 35, 38. Okay, I'm gonna give him 4,030. 40-30. If you want to play that number, go ahead and play that number. I'm gonna give him 40-30.
I like the 40-30 thing.
And then too, I was looking at the betting odds, and the Chiefs it's like plus 150 to win that division. So Vegas got them winning. Yeah.
They still favorites for that division?
They still favored to win the AFC West, which is crazy. Man,
the Chiefs really got people shook, man.
And the thing is, like, honestly,
and they don't have anybody. They don't have nobody. I mean, unless I'm missing somebody, they don't have anybody, man. Like,
I mean, you got McCole Hardman. He's an okay deep threat, but he reminds me of Torrey Smith, to be real, shorter Torrey Smith. And then you got Dagon, Juju, and then Travis Kelce. I can see
to win that division. And
I got them winning that, but their offense is like better. I don't know how they do it, but their offense is just better. It's like they could be. It's like on a bad year they win 10 games. That's the way their offense is set up. And Patrick Mahomes is like the new darling of everybody. Is like you can't count out Patrick Mahomes, and I mean honestly, you can't until he throws a boneheaded pick in the AFC Championship game.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, but I got them winning. For me, it's a narrow margin. Like you got this ain't even like concrete with me. I just put them out of default because they've been winning the AFC West for the past 3-4 years. I think the Chargers are more equipped to challenge for that division. And it would not shock me if the Chargers won that division outright.
Possibly, maybe.
It just would not shock me at all. Like I said, the Broncos, they're going to be on the come up. This ain't their year right now, but they're going to be on the come up. Like I got them finishing third, but they finishing third with 10 wins, so that's still a successful season. Just you're going to narrowly miss out in the playoffs because when I get to them other divisions, you're going to find out why.
Right.
But I mean, hey, like I said, this is way too early. Like, for all we know, the Jaguars can go to the Super Bowl. Like, for real.
I mean, it's barely way too early. I believe last year we started a little earlier.
We did. I think last year we started like the 1st of July.
Yeah.
And we put, boy, I tell you. My computer died. But
we give raw this time.
Yeah, like, look. it took some work to get that far last year. Like we had to go back to the prior year's record, and where you think you. I mean, it was a lot. So we're gonna give y'all the summary of this year. Like this ain't gonna be
right.
But look, man, it's been a good show, man. You know, I ain't even gonna front y'all. I started off kind of feeling some type of way. Not, work. You know how y'all know how work is.
Yeah.
But one thing about this show, man, it'll make you feel better.
That's good, boy.
So, like my man said at the top, oh gosh, I forgot something, man. Y'all, my bad. So I put the post on the after party. If you're on Facebook, like maybe about the 1.5 billion of y'all, go ahead and join the Porch Sports Podcast after party. So, like, whenever we have a topic, I'm gonna try to put the question to see what y'all think, right? So, a longtime supporter, he was on the show a couple of weeks ago. My man James, man, he gave his predictions for the AFC East and the AFC North. So I'm gonna go ahead and read them out. So this is what he said. He got the Patriots winning that division. He said the Patriots is going to stun the Bills and the world with the AFC East title. That is a bold prediction. And this is the way it get real. He said that the Bills are going to take a step back. I was like, yo. And he said the Dolphins is going to get the recognition on the team as the team on the rise. I can see them being the team on the rise. And then he said the Jets going to win 6 games, which is ironic because I said that on the show that the Jets is going to win 6. All right. So for the AFC North, he says that the Ravens is going to steal the title from the Bengals. Look, I like flying up under the radar. I'm not going to say nothing. I appreciate it, but I ain't going to say nothing.
He don't want to take that to happen.
I don't want to get my hopes up this year.
I understand.
The last year was tough for me, boy. I ain't been in that situation since the 90s, bro. Like, so he said the Bengals are going to finish second. I'm like, that could possibly happen though. This is what it got me. He said the Steelers are going to shockingly get swept by the Bengals and miss the playoffs. I have the Steelers competing because you see them twice a year. I see y'all twice a year. I don't never count y'all out. I'm the biggest Steeler hater of all time, but I recognize game. And that's gonna be one that's gonna be interesting. And then he says the Browns will have a meltdown, which I really feel like is happening. The Watson suspension and being away from the game for a while and off the field issues. We're going to find out, is Watson the same player? That is a good question, and that's something we're gonna have to find out. I don't think he's gonna be the same. I don't think he can just pick up where he left off. He ain't slung a football in over a year. Almost 2 years.
I think it'll take him a while to get acclimated to everything. You know, I mean, he has a chance. I don't think the Browns probably won't come into their 7 probably until about mid-season, like somewhat like what the Chiefs did, but they ain't gonna win 7-8 straight. But
no. They ain't. I mean, they're gonna win, but they ain't gonna do all that.
They're gonna want to run into some stumbling blocks.
Of course, of course.
I think I don't know. I just don't know about the Browns. The Browns is just one of those flip the coin type of thing.
That's what I'm feeling like. And appreciate you, James, for commenting and everything.
Yeah, most definitely appreciate that.
I really feel like that the Browns are in flux, like because we don't know what's going to happen with Watson. We don't know I don't care either, but we don't know what's happening.
Right.
And I mean, and that was like one of my biggest questions. You signed a quarterback to a $230 guaranteed deal, and he hasn't played football in a year. So, but hey, it ain't my money.
It ain't mine either.
I'm trying to tell you, boy. I mean, I want to be in the 1%, but good God, y'all, boy. But like I was trying to say before I forgot about my man's there. It's been a great show. You know, I feel good about this show. And, you know, I want y'all to go ahead and subscribe. You know, hit that notification button so y'all will know when we put the show up. As well as when you can hear it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, everywhere you want us to be. That's where we at. I'm trying to get on Sirius XM. So y'all listening, holla at a brother. Let me see. Of course, during the after party, you know, because we do a lot in there. We talk, we find some crazy memes and stuff and put it in there. you know, we try to have fun in there and also talk sports. Like me and James had a discussion. That discussion lasted about 6 hours in the after party. Like we was just going back at it, but that's what it's for. Like for us to communicate directly to y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that being said, this has been the Bad Porch Sports Podcast. With your man Fonz.
And Quan.
And we out of here, y'all. See y'all next week.
This